Hi students, greetings of the day. So in this video, I'm going to cover one of the core accounting concept called as buyback of shares. My discussion is divided into 5 parts. I am starting with the definition of buyback. Then second part, reasons or circumstances when the companies are going for buyback of shares. In third part, I'm going to discuss the provisions of Companies Act. In fourth part, as complying the provisions of the Companies Act, how many shares that can be bought back from the investors? In other words, the maximum number of shares that can be bought back by any company by issuing this buyback process. And finally, accounting process. So the journal entries to be recorded by the company in the books of accounts. Here, 5 parts: definition, regions, provisions of act, and the maximum number of shares that can be bought back, accounting entries. So let us start our discussion. Buyback. Buyback. The name itself signifies we are buying back. We are buying back the securities which are already issued to investors. In other words, buyback is the process of purchasing the own shares of the company by company itself. In IPO, buyback is different from IPO. In IPO, the companies are going to capital market to raise funds for their investment by issuing securities. Then, in this case, shares or securities are issued by the company. Investors are subscribed. Investors are subscribed. Company is selling the security. Investor is buying the securities. Buying party is the investor. Selling party is the company. But in case of buyback, the reverse process will happen. Investors are selling the securities. Company is repurchasing the securities or buying the securities. So this is what the buyback is about. There is a specific provision in the Companies Act. The company has to cancel out all the securities bought back through the process of buyback within 7 days from the date of completion of buyback. This is a mandatory rule. Suppose if 100 lakh shares were offered to public and the company decides to call offer 10 lakh shares, after buyback, these 10 lakh shares should be deducted from the called up capital. Only 90 lakh shares are disclosed in the balance sheet. Then, second part, the various regions. Reason number 1, the promoters or founders of the company wants to increase their stake in the company. Let us assume ABC Limited is already issued 100 lakh shares in the market or 1 crore shares in the market. Out of 1 crore shares, 40 lakh shares are already held by the investors. So 60 lakh shares are offered to public. So these 60 lakh shares are available in the stock market. 40 lakh shares were held by the promoters. Now the promoters wants to increase their stake from 40% to 50%. So it is possible only by adopting the buyback process. So what the promoter has to do, the promoter has to get the shares from the public. 60 lakhs minus 10 lakhs, 50 lakhs, 40 lakhs plus 10 lakhs, 50 lakhs. So you have to get the shares, from the outsiders. So they're using the concept called buyback. They get the shares from the public. Then, second reason, when the company feels that its security or the share is currently undervalued in the market when compared to other players in the industry. Let us assume the share of XYZ Limited is trading at 20, but company feels that its fair value is 24. means it is currently undervalued in the market. Then what they do? They start buying the securities from the outsiders. You know, when the companies start purchasing the securities from the investors, it automatically creates demand for the security in the market. You know, when the demand increases, the price of the security will increase. So at one point of time, the price of the security will reach its fair value or equilibrium value, what is required by the company. So this is another way of another purpose of buyback of shares. Third one, buyback is adopted by the company only when the company has large unutilized cash balance in the balance sheet. So company has large surplus cash, but it does not have enough investment opportunities to generate the minimum rate of return expected by the investors. For example, company has 20 crores of cash and cash equivalents. So this 20 crores should not be keep ideal, because so 20 crores are not belongs to company, 20 crores belongs to investors. So if the company keeps this balance ideal, the investors start asking the minimum rate of return, whether they are asking for dividend, or if you want to make an investment, they will ask for the minimum rate of return. Let us assume the minimum rate of return expected by the equity investors in this company is say 20%. So if you are unable to get a minimum return of 20% by investing the money, it is no use of making investment. So then what you have to do? Don't make investment. Your investments are not attractive to get the minimum rate of return as expected by the investors. Then what I have to do? Go for dividend distribution. Suppose if 20 crores were distributed as dividend, so in that year they feel very happy, they say balle balle. But in the next year, they start asking the same amount of dividend from the company. So this is the accumulated cash balance carrying from the past several years. So this is not earned in a single year. So in such a case, it is not possible to distribute 20 crores of dividend in the next year. Then if you don't pay 20 crores of dividend, investors' expectations are completely affected. They start selling the security in the market. So this is the major threat. There, so if you don't have any other profitable investment opportunities, don't invest. Don't pay dividend, because if you pay dividend, you are increasing the expectations of equity shareholders. Two ways. So what is the ideal way? The ideal way is to distribute the cash to investors, use this cash balance to repurchase the securities. So this is the core purpose of buyback. So buyback is adopted. You don't have sufficient investment opportunities to get the minimum rate of return. You don't want to make dividend distribution because you don't want to hurt the feelings of investors. So I think you are clear. Buyback is adopted only when the company has large surplus cash. Then, so I want to revise these 3 points. When the promoters wants to increase their stake, when the promoters feels that the share is currently undervalued in the market, they want to support the share price. They want to increase the share price in the external market. In these two circumstances, buyback is the route. And third one, buyback is undertaken only when the company has large surplus cash in hand, for which there are no investment opportunities to get a minimum rate of return expected by the investors. Then, what is the effect of buyback? I told you buyback is undertaken from the large surplus cash. We are not disturbing any non-current assets in the balance sheet. You are not selling any plant, you are not selling any machinery, you are not selling any land, you are not selling any building. So non-current assets will intact before and after buyback of shares. Therefore, profit comes from the revenue, revenue comes from the assets. So if there is no change in the assets composition, there is no change in the revenue, there is no change in the earning capacity. Therefore, buyback has no effect on the earning capacity of the company. The company will generate the same amount of profit as it has done in the as it has done before the buyback of shares. Therefore, before and after buyback of shares, the earnings of the company remains the same. As a result, what happened? See this. I have, how the EPS is calculated? PAT divided by number of shares. 300 lakhs of profit, post-tax profit is reported by the company, 100 lakh shares for them. What is the EPS? 3. Now, your earnings remains at 300 lakhs, but the number of shares decreases to 90 lakhs. So, this will boost your EPS. Now, the EPS of the company increases to 3.33. EPS increases, number of shares decreases. The fair value of the security, the fair value of share will be more than the current market price. As I told you, it is trading at 20. After buyback, the theoretical price will increase to 24. So this is the second part, situations and regions and effect of buyback on the EPS share price on number of shares. Next. Any company going for buyback of shares should comply with the provisions of Companies Act 2030. The provisions of buyback were included under section 68 to 70. So you have to comply with these provisions before going for the buyback. So for this purpose, first we have to see how much of paid up capital and free reserves is the company is going to buy back. See, we have divided this discussion into 2 points, situation 1 and situation 2. Yes, I want to buy back an amount equal to 10% of paid up share capital and free reserves. This is scenario 1. Yes, as a company, I want to buy back an amount equal to 25% of paid up share capital and free reserves. Like these 2 scenarios are there. In the first scenario, if you want to buy back only 10% of your paid up capital and free reserves, there must be a specific provision in the Articles of Association to permit this buyback process. And I repeat, and this is also required. The company board of director has to pass a resolution for this buyback process. So board resolution is required. At the same time, Articles of Association should permit this. These 2 is enough. No. I want to repurchase up to 25% of paid up capital and free reserves. So similarly, there must be a clause in the Articles of Association to undertake this buyback process. Plus, the company has to pass a special resolution in the general meeting. So, special resolution requires 75% of the voting power. Apart from this, the company should also comply with the following procedures. Only fully paid shares are bought back. Only fully paid shares are allowed to buy back. You may ask me, sir, if there are any partly paid shares, then what the company do? First, you have to convert the partly paid shares into fully paid shares, then bought back. So this procedure will be discussed at the later stage. Only fully paid shares are allowed to buy back. There is an exception to this rule. Next, point number 3. The time gap between two buybacks must be 365 days. Let us assume today is 20th April. You can undertake another buyback only after 365 days from this date. That is 20th April. So this is point number 3. Point number 4. The buyback procedure or the buyback process has to be completed from the buyback procedure has to be completed within 365 days from the resolution. It may be a special resolution or board resolution. So from the resolution date, you have to complete this entire process, not exceeding how many days? 365 days. This is another class. This is most important, point number 5. See, in company, there is an order. We call it as pecking order. First, lenders, long-term lenders, then preference shareholders, then equity shareholders. We are prioritizing the long-term lenders in this case. So if you want to make the principal repayment, if you want to make the interest payment, the first priority goes to long-term lenders. Second priority, preference shareholders. Last priority, equity shareholders. But in this case, what you are doing? You are affecting the fundamental rights of long-term lenders and preference shareholders. You are using the cash balance to repurchase your own shares. So this is quite contrary to the interest of the long-term lenders and preference shareholders. In order to safeguard the interest of these people, there is a theory called capital maintenance theory. You can't do any unjust, you can't do anything against the interest of the long-term lenders. Therefore, the Companies Act says, yes, you can go for the buyback. You can use the cash balance to repurchase your own shares, provided the nominal value of shares that you want to buy back should be transferred from free reserves account to a separate account called CRR. Suppose you want to purchase 10 lakh shares from the public. Face value of share is rupees 10. 10 lakhs into 10, 1 crore. An amount of 1 crore should be transferred from free reserves to a separate account called CRR. So this is called allocation or appropriation of profit to safeguard the interest of long-term lenders. So that is why we are creating a separate reserve called as CRR. An amount equal to nominal value of shares bought back must be transferred from free reserves to what? CRR. This is another stipulation in the Companies Act. The purpose is to protect the interest of long-term lenders and preference shareholders. It is as per capital maintenance theory. Buyback cannot be done with the proceeds of the same kind of shares other specified securities. So you want to, we have 3 classes of shares: 100 rupees paid up and called up, 10 rupees paid up and called up, 5 rupees paid and called up. 3 different classes. So if you want to buy back 10 rupees paid up and called up capital, you should not issue the same, you should not issue securities of the same amount with same class. So you can't replace another capital with the same capital already in the balance sheet. This is what the Companies Act is saying. You can use 100 rupees face value securities or 5 rupees face value securities, but you should not use 10 rupees, 10 rupees face value securities to repurchase the same class. So this is about the provisions of Companies Act applicable to buyback. It starts with section 68 to 70, but few provisions are not relevant for us because they are only procedural and relating to compliance. Point number 4, the maximum number of shares that can be repurchased. So next one, point number 4. That is maximum number of shares that can be bought back. The maximum number of shares that can be bought back by the company is the lower of 3 tests. First one, share outstanding test. Second one, resources test. And third one, debt equity test. So let us understand this provision by taking the help of an example. So this is the balance sheet of ABC Limited. Plant and machinery, land and building, non-current assets, investments, cash, other current assets are also there. 100 lakh shares were already issued. Fully paid shares. Reserves and surplus 20 crores. So reserves and surplus consisting of balance of securities premium, general reserve and P&L account credit balance. So there is a long-term debt of 40 crores. Now this company ABC Limited wants to go for buyback of its own shares. So how many shares out of 100 lakhs can be bought back from the public? This is, we have to decide. The maximum number of shares that can be bought back is subject to 3 tests. You have to take the lower value, right? So first one, shares outstanding test. 3 tests. Shares outstanding test. Second one, resources test. Third one, debt equity ratio test. So we will look at each and every test individually. Let us assume the current market price of the share is rupees 50. The company wants to buy back the share at rupees 20 each. Means the company wants to pay a premium of 5 rupees over the current market price. Let us start our discussion. First one, shares outstanding test. Outstanding shares. How many shares are there in the balance sheet? 100 lakhs. Shares outstanding test is you can buy back 25% of the shares outstanding in the balance sheet. So 25% of 100 lakhs is equal to what? 25 lakhs. As per the shares outstanding test, you are allowed to buy back shares up to what? 25 lakhs. Second one, resources test. Paid up share capital as per the balance sheet. $10 crores, reserves and surplus 20 crores. Thousand lakhs, reserves and surplus 2,000 lakhs. Put together 3,000 lakhs. This is called equity. Funds belongs to equity shareholders. Resources test says same similar thing. You can use 25% of 3,000 lakhs towards buyback. So 25% means 750 lakhs. An amount equal to 750 lakhs can be used for the buyback of shares. You know the buyback price is rupees 20 means so quantity into buyback price must be equal to 750 lakhs. Buyback price to 20 rupees. If you divide this 750 lakhs by 20, you will get the quantity to be bought back. $750 divided by 37.5 lakh shares. So 25 lakhs as per shares outstanding test, 37.5 lakhs as per resources test, and third one debt 4,000 lakhs 40 crores in the 4,000 lakhs or 40 crores in the balance sheet. So the Companies Act says you should maintain a debt equity ratio of 2:1. So you know the value of debt, how much it is? 4,000 lakhs. You have to maintain in equity of X amount. Equity is equal to 4,000 lakhs divided by 2 equal to 2,000 lakhs or 20 crores. But the current equity in your balance sheet, how much it is? 3,000 lakhs. So you have to reduce your equity by maximum reduction in equity is equal to 3,000 lakhs minus 2,000 lakhs. 1,000 lakhs has to be reduced in order to maintain the debt equity ratio at 2:1. Buyback price rupees 20. Therefore, maximum shares can be repurchased. 1,000 lakhs by 20, 50 lakhs. So 50 lakhs, 37.5 lakhs, 25 lakhs. Whichever is lower? 25 lakhs. Therefore, maximum shares can be repurchased as per the Companies Act, as per section 68 of the Companies Act is equal to 25 lakhs. 25 lakhs. So this is about this shares outstanding test, resources test, number of shares, into 25%, paid up share capital plus free reserves into 25% divided by buyback price. Debt by equity, by using the debt by equity ratio, you can calculate the equity to be continued in the balance sheet. So the excess equity will be bought back by the process of buyback. So this is most important. See, we are saying paid up share capital, you already aware. What is free reserve for this purpose? Free reserves means the credit balance of P&L account. You know this. General reserve, you know this. Reserve funds, if any amount is appropriated from the profit, then this reserve fund can be used for the buyback. Capital reserve, only raised capital reserve is taken as the free reserve. Workman's compensation reserve, if any, this is a special reserve created for the welfare of the workers. So this can be used. Dividend equalization reserve, all these comes under the definition of free reserves. Free reserves does not include securities premium. When the shares are issued at a premium, the premium amount is transferred to securities premium. So this cannot be taken as a free reserve because it is meant for a specific purposes. Revaluation reserves, since it is an unrealized reserve, so we don't take it into consideration. So there is a capital reserve, but the profit is not realized, so it should not be taken. Statutory reserves should not be taken. Investment allowance reserve, export reserve are part of the statutory reserves. They are maintaining to comply with the provisions of any particular statute. Therefore, it should not come under the definition of free reserve. And finally, we are entering into the accounting process. Equity share capital shows credit balance. Now you want to hold off the equity. So for cancellation, we have to do the reverse. Equity share capital credit. If you want to cancel, debit this. Equity share capital account data. Premium on buyback. I told you we are repurchasing the share for rupees 20. What is the face value? 10. Means we are offering extra 10 rupees to the equity investors. This is called premium on buyback. Loss to the company, debit. 2. This amount is transferred to a separate account called equity shareholders account. So 10, 10 put together, we are paying 20. 20 is transferred to equity shareholders account into number of shares. So suppose you are purchasing 10 lakh shares or 15 lakh shares or 25 lakh shares. So you multiply with n. So that won't be any case here. So buyback price may be at premium. Sometimes it may be at discount. So you want to buy back each share for rupees 8. 10 rupees, 8 rupees. Discount given by investor 2 rupees. Equity share capital account data 10. Equity shareholders account data, you should pay only 8 rupees. This 2 rupees is gain to the company. So that should be transferred to what? Capital reserve account 2. So this is how the amount is transferred to equity shareholders. This is the amount we should pay to the equity shareholders to complete this buyback process. Then I told you premium on buyback is a loss. First you have to cancel out this loss. For this purpose, we are availing the balance in the securities premium account. First priority goes to securities premium account, then goes to the free reserves, general reserve, P&L account, any other reserve. So securities premium account data. So it shows the debit balance. You have, if you want to cancel this, credit this to premium on buyback. So this amount is writing off against securities premium on general reserve. Therefore, accounting entry, securities premium account debit, general reserve debit to premium on buyback. I told you only fully paid shares are bought back. If there are any partly paid shares, first you have to make them fully paid, then go for the buyback. Say face value rupees 10. You are issuing at a premium of 15. It is collected. Application 3 rupees. Allotment say 8 rupees. First call 3 rupees. 2 rupees, 2 rupees. First call 2 rupees, final call 2 rupees. So here we have collected application money, allotment money, first call. What is due here? Final call. First you have to make this into fully paid. Share, final call, account data to equity share capital, then bank account data to share final call. So for collecting the money, this is due entry, this is for collection. This is cancelled out. What is the final entry? Bank account data to equity share capital. Now the partly paid share is converted into fully paid. So you can buy back the share. So to transfer the balance to CRR, I told you an amount equal to nominal value of securities bought back should be appropriated from the free reserves to a separate account called CRR. Securities premium, general reserve, P&L account. If balance is not sufficient, workman's compensation reserve, dividend equalization reserve, realized capital gain account, all those accounts are debited and the balance will be transferred to CRR. Sometimes if the bank and cash balance is not sufficient for buyback process, then we need additional funds. Additional funds can be raised by selling the investments. So purchase of investment, you know the accounting entry, investment account data to bank account. For sale of investments, so you are selling, what is the accounting entry? Bank account data to investment account. However, I have securities worth 500 lakhs. Today, sold it for 550 lakhs. This extra 50 lakhs is the gain to the company. 550 lakhs, 500 lakhs. Gain 50 lakhs. Similarly, when securities are sold at a gain, 500 lakhs worth of securities were sold for 450 lakhs. Bank account data, how much you got? 450. How much loss that you are suffering? 50. To investment account, 500 lakhs. So this is how the entry for sale of investments is made. Finally, the amount due to the investors has to be discharged. Equity shareholders account data to bank account. It is the full and final settlement of the client. So this is how the accounting entries are passed on. First, we have to transfer the amount from share capital account to shareholders account along with any premium. Any excess premium is paid, that should be adjusted towards your specific reserves, free reserves. And third one, you have to convert the partly paid shares into fully paid. Then you have to make a specific amount which is equal to nominal value of shares bought back to a special ledger called CRR. Finally, for sale of securities, when the funds are not sufficient to make final payment, we can use sale of security. We can raise the amount from the sale of securities to meet the shortage of funds. And finally, for making payment. So this is how the buyback process is completed by the company. So there are 5 sections here, meaning regions. Third one, provisions of company side. Fourth one, the maximum shares that can be bought back by the company. Finally, accounting entries.